Slut-Shaming. Final Sociology Project by Deja and Chadha. What is slut-shaming? It's a fairly new concept, defined as the act of making a woman feel guilty or inferior for engaging in certain sexual behaviors that violate traditional gender expectations. In short, shaming a woman for having and enjoying sex like a man is expected to. There are different types of slut-shaming, going beyond just shaming girls' sexuality. There's shaming women for having premarital sex, enjoying sex, having multiple partners, dressing in quote-unquote provocative clothing, and it goes as far as blaming victims of sexual abuse and assault for their assault.
17-year-old Rutaya Parsons from Canada. She was allegedly gang raped by 4 of her classmates. After an 18-month struggle with the fallout, she killed herself last week. And her mom says that it's a growing trend called slut-shaming that played a major role in her death.
One girl that was her friend put on her status, sluts need to leave this school anyway. Just bullying and boys that she didn't know send her messages, we want to have fun, you did it with my friends, why don't we get together? It just was nonstop.
In this video, we're shown all the possible dangers surrounding slut-shaming. Slut-shaming is dangerous to a woman's self-esteem, making her worth nothing more than an object. It also makes the victims of assault feel to blame by telling them they were asking for it by dressing a certain way. Slut-shaming may possibly lead to assault itself. Telling people a girl is slut becomes an invitation for people to objectify and harass her. There have been countless accounts of suicide due to relentless bullying and slut-shaming. Some girls were victims of assault, while others did nothing at all. No woman deserves this, regardless of what they did. Why does slut-shaming occur? It is a tool used to oppress the sexuality of women and women themselves. Men do it to remain ahead, while women do it to set themselves apart from the rest and seek male approval, which becomes a source of power for them. To explain this phenomenon further, the feminist blog Rage Against the Man Sheen puts it nicely. Quote, "Slut-shaming is one of the chief ways that women attempt to compete with each other for male approval in a patriarchy that defines women's worth by their physical attractiveness and limits their ability to distinguish themselves by other means." The conflict theory of genders explains that men and women are in competition for something scarce. In this case, men and women are competing for the power of women's bodies and the choices made for those bodies. It seems backwards that any man seeks to have a power over something that is not his. Gender roles are learned concepts of how men and women should behave. This is in the definition of slut-shaming, as children are taught that boys will be boys, excusing them from normally deviant behaviors such as violence or anger. Later in life, this phrase excuses them from sexual behavior and deviance. Women are taught to be dainty and forgiving and pure, where sex is seen as almost taboo. Leora Tannenbaum, author of the book I Am Not a Slut, quotes, "Men are allowed to engage in coitus for any reason, women only if in love or engaged." This is an example of a double standard, where men and women are held to different expectations. In this case, men are praised for their sexual endeavors, while women are persecuted for them. This comic shows what society deems as acceptable. For men, being shirtless is completely okay, and for women, it's obviously not. Men, how many times have you called a woman a slut or judged her for what she was wearing? Women, how many times have you been subjected to being called names for your freedom? My advice to you is to think before you speak. Think before you judge. Stop persecuting women by holding them accountable to standards present when women were nothing more than property. Stop victim blaming or using the phrase asking for it. Dress is never consent. Women are free to do whatever they want, wear whatever they want, and be free just as much as men are. Thank you.